You've saved 20 grand. You work hard. You're capable. And you know that buying one buy-to-let with that money locks you into a decade-long wait for compound growth, while you pull maybe 150 quid a month profit after costs. That's the capital trap. Here's the alternative. Turn your ability to find and package deals into a systematic business that pays you £3,000 to £8,000 per transaction, 2 to 4 times a month, without buying property yourself. That's 6 to 15 grand hitting your account monthly for skill, not capital. And while you're doing it, you're building a network of investors who'll back you when you're ready to control or joint venture the best opportunities yourself. This is deal sourcing done properly. Not forwarding Rightmove links, not chasing finder's fees, a real business with professional packaging and a buyer list that moves fast because they trust your work. If you want to learn how to build a UK property deal business that generates cash flow now, hit like and subscribe, because we're about to walk through the exact system. Most people who try sourcing fail because they focus on one piece and ignore the rest. They generate leads but can't package them. Or they build a slick deal pack but have no one to send it to. Or they know investors but never feed them fresh opportunities. So those buyers drift to someone who does. A sourcing business that actually pays you monthly runs on 3 pillars, and you need all of them working. The first is lead generation. You're targeting 20 to 30 fresh leads every week through direct-to-vendor marketing, like targeted letters to probate lists, divorce records, and tired landlords. You're running Facebook ads to sellers who need to move quickly. You're building agent relationships, so you become the cash buyer they call first when something distressed hits their desk. And you're tapping distressed seller channels, repossession lists, landlord exit groups, people who need out now and will trade speed for a discount. That's your pipeline. The second pillar is packaging. This is where most amateurs fall apart. You need a professional presentation that proves you've done the work. Comparable evidence showing the property is below market value. A refurb quote even if it's light. Projected rental income backed by live Rightmove ads, and a clear exit strategy model. This is what separates you from the time wasters and gets serious buyers to move in days, not weeks. The third pillar is your buyer database. 30 to 50 active investors segmented by strategy, ticket size, and geography. You know who wants buy-to-let under 150 grand, who hunts HMO conversions, who operates lease options, and who flips refurbs. When a deal comes in, you know exactly who to call. And you stay front of mind with a concise monthly update so they don't forget you exist. All 3 pillars feed each other. Leads without packaging waste your time. Packaging without buyers leaves you stuck. Buyers without fresh deals move on to another sourcer. The system only works when all 3 are live. Now let's talk about the deal pack itself, because this is the document that commands your FEE. Every serious sourcing business uses the same core structure, and when you nail it, buyers see the work you've done and the margin you've proven. You're not asking them to hope, you're showing them the numbers. Start with the property address and photos, then include a title register summary. Freehold or leasehold, any restrictions, rights of way, anything that could kill the deal. This proves you've checked. Next, comparable evidence. Pull 3 to 5 recent sales within half a mile, same property type, and show the market value versus your claimed discount. Then add your refurb scope and quote if the property needs work. Even a rough quote adds credibility because it shows you've walked the property and thought through the costs. After that, project the rental income. Back it with live ads from Rightmove or Open Rent, showing what similar properties achieve. Then calculate the minimum cash required. Deposit, stamp duty, refurb budget, legals, broker fees. Finally, suggest the exit strategy. Is this a straightforward buy-to-let hold? An HMO conversion? A light refurb and flip? Lay it out. This level of detail does 2 things. it proves you've vetted the opportunity, which reduces the buyer's due diligence time from weeks to days. And it positions you as a professional operator, not someone forwarding links they found on the portal. Deals presented this way command 3 to 5 grand on clean buy-to-let opportunities and 5 to 8,000 or more on HMO conversions or heavy refurbs, because the buyer can see the complexity you've navigated and the margin you've proven. The pack is your credibility. But credibility only converts if you structure your fee correctly and know when to walk away. Here's how the numbers actually work. On a straightforward buy-to-let under 200 grand, with 15% or more below market value, you're looking at £2,000 to £5,000. On a property requiring significant refurb or an HMO conversion, where the complexity is higher and the value you've added is greater, you're looking at 5 to 8 grand or more. And if you found a genuinely deep discount, 20 to 25% below market, you can command the top end of that range because the margin justifies it. Fees are almost always paid on completion of the buyer's purchase, and you lock that in with a simple sourcing agreement signed when the buyer reserves the deal. Your fee comes from the buyer, never the vendor. This keeps you clear of Estate Agency Act complications, which is a real compliance boundary you need to get right. If you're taking upfront payments from vendors or marketing properties you don't control, you're crossing into regulated territory. Structure your deals transparently and verify your setup with a property solicitor who understands transactions like this. Now, the filter that protects your reputation. Only package deals offering genuine 15% or more below market value, or a clear value-add opportunity like an HMO conversion or permitted development. Always verify the title and planning constraints before you present. And never sell a deal you wouldn't control or joint venture on yourself. One bad deal torches your buyer list faster than 10 good ones build it. Your reputation is the business. Which brings us to the buyer list itself. This is the asset nobody sees, but it's what turns sourcing from a side hustle into a full-time income. You need 30 to 50 active investors who trust your deal flow and move fast when you send something. Here's how you populate it. Attend property networking events and position yourself as a sourcer, not a competitor. Investors love reliable deal flow because most of them don't have time to find it themselves. Join online investor communities and offer value before you pitch. Connect with mortgage brokers and joint venture brokers who have active buyer clients and can introduce you. And reverse engineer successful local investors by checking companies' house filings, land registry records, and planning applications. You can see who's buying, what they're buying, and where. Then reach out. Once you've got them on the list, segmentation is what makes the difference. Categorize each buyer by their active strategy, their ticket size, and their geographic preference. Some only want vanilla buy-to-let. Others hunt refurbs. Others control deals via lease options or delayed completions. When a deal comes in, you know exactly who to call first, and speed is your competitive advantage. To stay front of mind without being a pest, send a concise monthly market update. 3 bullet points. Deals you've moved, local market shifts, 1 educational insight. Share genuinely useful content like planning changes, mortgage rate shifts, HMO licensing updates, and always respond fast when they ask a question. Trust compounds. Then enforce the 48-hour rule. When you send a deal, the first buyer who reserves it with a £500 to £1,000 non-refundable deposit, refundable only against your sourcing fee at completion, locks it in. This prevents time wasters and deal shopping, and it trains your list to move decisively. Your buyer list is a commercial asset. Treat it like one. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where sourcing shifts from theory to a viable full-time business. The conversion funnel looks like this. you're generating 80 to 120 initial leads per month through your marketing. Of those, 20 to 30 are viable opportunities worth investigating. You can package 8 to 12 deals from that group, meaning you've verified the discount, checked the title and built the deal pack. And 2 to 3 of those complete and pay your fee. That's a 2 to 3% lead to deal conversion rate, which is typical for a systematic sourcing operation. So what does that mean in cash terms? 2 deals at an average fee of £4,000 is £8,000 a month. 3 deals is £12,000. 4 deals is £16,000. This is viable full-time income for an operator, and it's generated in 8 to 12 weeks from lead to completion, not 8 to 12 years waiting for capital growth. Your time breaks down roughly like this: 60% on lead generation and initial vetting, 25% on packaging and presenting deals to buyers, 15% on buyer relationship management and deal progression. This isn't passive, it's a real business. But your effort directly drives income, not market luck. And here's the progression trigger. Once you're consistently moving 2 to 3 deals per month, you have proof of concept. Now you can selectively control the best deals yourself through rent-to-rent or lease options. You can propose joint ventures to your buyer list using their deposit capital while you contribute the deal and the management. Or you can scale by bringing on junior sources and splitting fees 60% to 40% or 70% to 30%. The sourcing business becomes the foundation for everything else. But none of this works if you ignore the legal structure and compliance boundaries, because one misstep can torpedo your credibility or worse. Operate through a limited company for liability protection and tax efficiency. Sole trading leaves you personally exposed, and the company structure signals you're serious. Here's the critical compliance boundary you need to understand. You're acting as a principal, meaning you're buying and selling your contractual position, or assigning a deal you've secured under contract. You are not acting as an estate agent marketing someone else's property. Taking upfront payments from vendors or marketing properties without having them under your control crosses into regulated territory under the Estate Agency Act. This is a real area to get right, so structure your deals transparently and verify your setup with a solicitor familiar with property transactions. On transparency with buyers and vendors, always disclose your role and your fee. Trying to hide your margin or your position damages trust and can create legal exposure. Professional operators are upfront. This is a commercial transaction, and everyone knows where they stand. A few other practical points. If you're handling client money, like reservation deposits, you may need client money protection, depending on how your deals are structured. If your activity expands into certain advisory areas, check whether anti-money laundering registration applies. Frame these as part of running a credible, long-term business. Not obstacles. Foundations. So here's the shift. Sourcing isn't about getting lucky with one finder's fee. It's a systematic business with consistent lead flow, standardised packaging, and a curated buyer list that trusts your work and moves fast. You're earning £3,000 to £8,000 per deal for your skill in finding and proving opportunities. That income hits your account in weeks, not years. And while you're doing it, you're building the investor network that becomes your unfair advantage when you're ready to control or joint venture the best deals yourself. This is how you turn a capital constraint into an income advantage. Here's what you do next. Choose your lead generation channel. Direct mail to distressed sellers, agent relationships, or probate and divorce lists. Build your deal pack template with the components we just walked through. And start populating your buyer list with 10 to 15 investors, segmented by strategy and ticket size. You don't need perfect systems on day one. You need one deal packaged and presented to prove the model works. Then you systematize what's working and scale from there. This is how you go from deal chaser to deal maker.